Tonight on Alaska's news source, a man found dead in a Western Alaskan village, and the evidence is prompting investigators to look into the suspicious circumstances surrounding the death.
And temperatures are on a cooling trend to start the week, with the next winter storm making landfall in Western Alaska by tomorrow.
What I focus on in this education is to possibly keep more of those sort of tragedies from happening.
Free avalanche rescue training at Glen Alps taught dozens of Alaskans life-saving backcountry skills. And Iron Dog racers make their way past the first major checkpoint. We check in with them on the trail, including a title contending team that's now out of the race.
You're watching Alaska's news source.
A man was found dead in Togiak Friday evening, and the circumstances prompted an investigation. That's according to Alaska State Troopers. It was notified Friday around 8:30 p.m. that 37-year-old Mason Blue was found dead at a home. Troopers responded to the situation and say evidence suggests the death was suspicious. The Alaska Bureau of Investigation and additional troopers went to Togiak to investigate further. The investigation is ongoing, and troopers say they think they've contacted everyone involved. And North Slope ConocoPhillips workers have voted to unionize. The National Labor Relations Board shows 165 of 220 workers voted for the labor union in the Kuparik and Alpine area. Local union organizers also say about 75% of people who voted about the Willowfield also said yes to unionizing. The vote count came in Monday. It's been in the works for a few months. In December, ConocoPhillips confirmed it laid off about 10% of North Slope workers. And the Fairbanks North Star Borough is reallocating more than $11 million in school district funds. It comes after a borough audit submitted this week agreed with the district's findings that it had more money in its reserves than allowed by borough code. The transfer was set to happen Thursday night, with the money going into a reserve fund for maintenance of school buildings in the district. However, the money may not stay there, as leaders in both the borough and the district say they'd like the assembly to allow for the money to be used for district operations.
We have some very promising discussions, and I'm really looking forward to continuing the conversation with the borough so that we can all work together as a team to figure out the best uses for these funds.
The school district makes their recommendations on their budget to the assembly in March. And so at that time, it would probably be a pretty full-throated discussion on what it could be spent on and what they should be getting back.
The borough has discussed adding positions at Salcha Elementary School and elementary music teachers across the district if they are allowed to use the money for operations. The school district has until April 1st to submit its recommended budget to the borough. And don't let those sunny skies fool you. Impactful winter weather isn't quite over yet, at least for some parts of the state. Meteorologist Bailey Braun has been tracking the next storm and where impacts may be felt.
Thank you, Michaela. Yeah, as we look ahead for this week, we've already seen this winter storm rolling in from last week into parts of the interior, but now Western Alaska, you're going to have yet another storm that's going to roll in 2 stages, and I'll talk about that in a little bit with our full weather. But taking a look at conditions across the state, skies are clearing out for South Central into the work week, and this is the same for Southeast as well. Fairbanks is actively seeing more of that snow falling as a result of the storm we had over the weekend, and as of noon, they recorded about 10 inches of snow that has fallen, so it's probably closer to a foot by now. But as we look ahead, these temperatures are cooling. All the way from South Central down to Southeast are where we're seeing the coldest temperatures trending, but into northwestern portions of Alaska, this is where temperatures are relatively the same, if not just a couple of degrees cooler. Now, as we look ahead, this is that winter storm that I was talking about. This is going to bring very large impacts into parts of Western Alaska, all the way from the Alaska Peninsula all the way into the Seward Peninsula. As you can tell, it's going to bring lots of that rainfall into the Aleutians first before it makes landfall into the YK Delta. Then that's going to bring that band of snowfall, and that band will begin to push into the interior by Wednesday, adding on to more of that snowfall that you're actively seeing right now. Just looking at this snowfall ahead for Monday morning, you're going to stay relatively dry out in the western coastline, but by Monday night into Tuesday, that's when you'll see more of that snow begin to accumulate, with even more snow rolling in by Tuesday night, carrying into Wednesday. As we look at our snow model trend, this is for Nome, Alaska. So if you're in Nome, this is relevant to you. You're going to see upwards of 10 and even closer to 12 inches of snow accumulating by Tuesday afternoon into Wednesday morning. So that shows how heavy snow that you can expect into the rest of your work week. So as we look ahead into tomorrow, mostly sunny skies sticking around for much of Alaska, but that change is on the way by Tuesday and even into Wednesday.
Dozens of Alaskans spent their Sunday learning skills that could one day save their lives. A free avalanche rescue training brought people to the Glen Alps to practice what to do if disaster strikes in the backcountry. Danny Tompkins headed to the mountains to see how many Alaskans were putting safety first.
The sound of shovels cutting through snow and beacons beeping filled Glen Alps Sunday as people trained for a scenario no one wants to face.
Letter is B for battery. So I have 90% battery. What battery strength do all of you have?
I'm out here just getting my first exposure at all to avalanche training.
That's awesome. What have you learned so far?
Really just the basics of how probes, beacon, shovel, just all of the basics.
Participants practiced with these 3 essential tools for backcountry rescue: avalanche beacons, probes, and shovels.
So it's absolutely critical to practice these skills. You know, a lot of folks will take a course and then over the few years will go by and their skills might get a little bit rusty. So getting that practice in is super critical.
Every winter, avalanches claim lives across the state. The Anchorage Nordic Ski Patrol says that this Front Range alone has taken about 25 lives over the years due to avalanche. Now, the about 60 people here today are learning that preparation and practice could make the difference between tragedy and survival. The training was organized by Joe Kurdick, who lost 2 friends to a nearby avalanche more than 30 years ago.
2 good friends of mine were killed in an avalanche on the mountain right behind us here in Peak 3 back in 1994, Bruce Hickok and Jeff Radford. And they were very good friends of mine. It was a tragic accident, and what I do here is in tribute to them.
Avalanche experts say practicing in low-stress environments prepares you for real emergencies.
I like the quote, "We don't rise to the occasion, we fall back on our system." So usually when you're stressed out and strung out, you're not the best version of yourself.
Sunday was all about training that could mean the difference between life and death in Alaska's backcountry. Danny Tompkins, Alaska's news source.
When we come back, the Iron Dog is well into day 2, and our team in McGrath checks in with the racers, including a team that's had to scratch. Plus, an Anchorage man gets a big win at the Olympics and steps closer to a chance to get a medal. Details ahead. Iron Dog 2026 is on its second day, and the field has passed through McGrath. Charlie Fellows and Jordan Rodenberger were on the ground at the race's first major checkpoint, speaking with riders about what went right on day 1 and what didn't.
As the first few Iron Dog racers jetted down the Kuskokwim River toward McGrath, the evening sun still lingered.
It felt really good to get here in the daylight. I've done it like once in my whole career, getting here in the daylight.
And as the sky grew darker, more racers began to roll in, each sled with a story to tell.
Well, we had to break quite a bit of trail, so we lost a lot of time there, so it's less than ideal. But, I mean, we're here clean, so we saw some other teams had some issues, so that's the biggest thing, get here clean on day 1.
I mean, it was pretty nasty leaving Big Lake, but then it was a little snowy through the pass, and then it was like actually a really nice day. Like all in all, it was pretty nice weather, way better than I expected it to be. And my dad and my sister are running together, Team 39. We saw them, and we took them down the wrong trail, actually.
Oh, that was them?
Yeah, they followed us, and then it was a dead end. They're like, okay, turn it around. So my dad's probably not going to be happy about that one when he gets back, but yeah.
No, he goes, "Hey, I'm sorry about taking you guys the wrong way." I was like, well, that was our fault. We just thought you guys knew more than we did, but nope.
Blankets of fresh snow tucked in the sleds overnight as a new day of Iron Dog welcomes racers in the morning. Which can bring new troubles.
We're gonna fix a front A-arm, lower A-arm, and
A glove box of all things. Put a new glove box on.
After tuning up and fueling up, most teams left McGrath by Sunday afternoon without a hitch. But for one title contending team, their race was over before it ever really began.
Came off a tussock on the left-hand side of the trail, loaded up the shock and shot me to the right-hand side of the trail, and it was about a maybe 2-inch in diameter spruce tree, about 3 foot tall, ripped the whole side of the sled off.
Team 6, Mike Morgan and Bradley Kishbaugh, from race leaders to out of the race, scratching in Nikolai Saturday night.
No, didn't feel like we were taking any chances, didn't feel like we were riding stupid or crazy, we were just cruising. And when you're traveling that fast, high risk, high reward, you know, and the margin for error is pretty slim.
By Sunday night, racers and their machines hope to be resting in Unalakleet before taking on the Kotzebue Loop on Monday.
And we'll be catching back up with the race once they reach the halfway point in Nome. We'll have updates all the while. From McGrath, Charlie Fellows.
Jordan Rodenberger, Alaska's news source.
As of about 5 p.m., teams are neck and neck as the leaders leave Ruby and head for Galena. Right now, Team 14 is leading with 5 and 7 not far behind.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.